Welcome to Down the Middle Podcast Battlers. Oh, I'll come in a little bit hot there, maybe a little bit too close to the microphone. H Moore, how are you, butter?
I'm good, mate. Just plotting along. The week's getting quicker and quicker. So it's good.
I like
Not
it.
much else to add.
We'll get to the review of last round of the NRL, but very sad week for us.
Mm.
I'm surprised you actually got the Sharks jersey on tonight.
Yeah, mate. Oh, I don't have too many jumpers left. I've got to wash them. So
Yeah.
got to pull the
Well,
jersey on. I probably should have
I,
put my soccer one on.
I went
But,
black. I went black tonight because it was a sad weekend, and I'm sure we'll get to the review of this round. It's not looking good for the mighty Red V.
yeah.
Mate, I was a little bit late tonight. I'm going to tell you why. I haven't told you why. I just copped about 3 liters of spew down the front of me. So
Oh,
that was really fun trying to put the young fella to bed. He's struggling to shit. And so he finally did a shit and then he still didn't want to go to bed. I'm like, what's up, buddy? I got down on the ground and I was holding him like this and he just went. And I went,
is this Harry? Is this
yeah,
Harry?
this is
Yeah.
Harry. So it was like proper food, everything.
Ooh,
Bits of ham, bits of bloody chocolate biscuit and all sorts of
yeah.
and there's my first thought was better text H because
Yeah. No,
now
that's
it's
all right.
clean up all 2, reset, have a shower, clean up the whole thing. Anyway, so the joys of fatherhood for anyone out there thinking of having kids, just remember you will get shat on, you will get spewed on.
Wait.
It's not real
Yeah.
fun. Actually, have you signed off for OzTag?
I have not. I've got
Okay.
to.
Are you coming back to try and
I'm
win a
coming
prem?
back.
Okay. I got
I'm
to.
coming only second round.
I
So we
think
got no,
I,
and we got the wrong barrel.
I think I'm going to make a comeback. I probably won't play
Okay,
every
so
game, but I'll
well, you
make a
did say
comeback.
you'll miss winter, come back for summer.
Yeah, I won't play every game, but I think like early games perfect, late games probably a chance, middle games like 7s and 7:30s. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know about it. So anyway,
Yeah. Well, we've got a couple of new recruits, I think, this year.
I saw
So
that. Yeah,
no,
is that
it'll
going to
be
be
good.
extra men on the bench? Is always a positive for the
Hopefully,
battlers. Wow,
need it.
the old tired legs. Let's jump into it, mate. You go. You go.
Yeah, mate. We'll just jump straight into the review of round 26 of the NRL. Kicking off with the Thursday night game, the Cowboys winning 38-30 against the Melbourne Storm. Obviously, Storm put up a pretty good fight for the team that they had, um, especially with I think Pappenhausen and someone else going off in the first 10 to 15 minutes. Munster did pretty good to hold the ship as long as possible, but unfortunately, the Cowboys were too strong in the end.
Was it Sevi went off?
Maybe.
Maybe the winger or the center. Only played
Yeah,
15 minutes. Yeah. I
yeah.
still backed the Storm last week. My tipping was terrible. I got 3 from 8. I backed the Storm last week, and I was pretty surprised that they got as close as they did. Lots of points. We've seen lots of big point games in the last couple of weeks.
There's not too many under 20s now, like under 20 points now. Like so, it's crazy. So yeah, obviously that helped the Cowboys with their final push for maybe a
Yeah.
home semi final, depending on this week's
Yes.
results.
Yes.
As we'll get into a bit later on. Right. Then moving on to the first Friday night game with the Manly Sea Eagles winning 34-22. I did say,
Yeah, you
I'm not
called
quite
it.
sure if I did I say on the potty with no Crichton? I think,
Yeah.
I think Manly would be too strong. Obviously, Tom Trbojevic getting injured in that game as well. He's missing this week.
Yep.
But, mate, I started my tipping off good. I was 2 from 2. That was a bit of a differential one because I know some people still went the Dogs.
I went the doggies.
Um, yeah, that hurts, doesn't it?
I'm a shit tipper.
Well, mate, I haven't been the best tipper this year in our tipping. Mate, then moving on to the second game of Friday night with the Penrith Panthers winning 34-12 against I was going to say Raiders, the Rabbits. It was pretty expected,
Yeah.
that result, really. Penrith
Not
just staking their
not
claim.
not surprising. Just standard for them.
pretty much. I think we both said, 13 plus
Yeah.
for the Penny Panthers. And mate, I think I was sitting actually for the first game of Super Saturday. I was sitting at Ingadine Tavern with one of the good listeners, BJ. And I just couldn't believe my eyes. I'm 3 from 3. I'm on for a full round here. The Dragons are on their win week.
Yes,
Um,
that's exactly right. They were on their birdie week, weren't they? Coming off a bogey.
and mate, you were losing 44 to, what is it, 12, 44-12 with 10 minutes to go, and somehow you've managed to pull it to 44-40
It was an
by
absolute
full
shit show.
time.
2 tries in the first 10 minutes. Then Clint Gutherson scores. Oh, so actually, Connor Mullassen scores in the 14th minute. And I went, awesome, right? They've stuffed up the first 10, but they're back. They're just going to
Yeah.
find form here. It'll be a bit of back and forth, but we'll hopefully get the upper hand. And
Mm.
the Eels went on to score 4 more in that first half. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
hell is going on here? I was watching it at family lunch. I just had it propped up, and I was like sitting next to Uncle Brian, just going, mate, this is terrible. We flicked it off, obviously during halftime. I went and played tennis or whatever it was. Come back, and when they started scoring again, those first 2 tries in the second half, or first 3 tries in the second half, I said, mate, let's
Mm.
just turn it off. Let's just get rid of it. And then I look back later, I'm like, they got to 40 points. Are they friggin' shitting me? Like, come on. What's the point? What's the
Mate,
point in getting so close? Scoring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tries in the last like 10 minutes. Stupid.
yeah. And especially you had it in your hands. You had your own finals destiny in your hands. You never
Exactly right.
worried. You didn't have the results to go your way. You just needed to win the 2 last games to be absolute certain, or at worst, try and
And
sweat out a
and
result
and it was
this
like
week.
the perfect result to play the Eels, because it's like, awesome. There we go. There's our win. The Eels had nothing to play for and come out and put 44 points on any team. I don't care what team it is. Nothing to play for, and they go out and put 44 points on a team. Like, from all reports, Flano gave an absolute spray. I think he sprayed Ben Hunt even. You know what? Deserve it. All of them deserve a spray.
He's Rano's kept a bit quiet. He's sort of done his little sprays here and there, but I think, especially knowing what we just said,
What's at
they had
stake?
it in their hand. Yeah, and he did it right in front of the camera in the dressing room. They sort of had the camera in the
Mm.
corner there, and he just teed off on him. And sort of Ben Hunt's just looking at him, just going, "What can I do? Like, I just got to take this
Yeah.
and hope for the best."
And like, it's not all his fault either. Like, I know, like, we've just sort of mentioned Ben, but it's just like, what what's doing? Like, how do you? I I know things can just happen and a team can come out and play really well, but that is just abysmal. That is
Yeah,
just
definitely.
absolutely abysmal. Anyway, so that's probably, as we get to next round, that's
Well,
probably stuffed our chances,
you
but
need
we'll talk about that
you
in a
need
minute.
a miracle. You
An
need a
absolute
miracle.
miracle.
Yeah. Mate, then the second game of Super Saturday, Dolphins. I, each time I tip the fucking Broncos, I said
They
to
lose.
myself, I'm not going to tip the Broncos again. I fucking tipped it.
Yeah, but see, you were doing it for the Dragons. You were tipping the Broncos. Oh no, they were both sitting in the same spot, weren't they? That's right.
But the Dolphins winning 40-6. I heard I think it was on the weekend. Might have been on the Sunday or Monday from Aaron Woods going, Kevy Walker got all this praise, but he's been there for 4 years and he's only
Mm,
taken it to the finals once. And obviously they went to the grand final last year, but now everyone's realising that it's been a fluke. Because the year before, I called the Parramatta getting to the grand final. That was a fluke. They got an easy run. They got teams at the right time with all these injuries. And
yeah.
look what happened. They got blown off the park. Mind you, the Broncos were 15 minutes away from winning the grand final, but they blew it.
But I think regardless of being 15 minutes away from winning the comp, because they were, and obviously a Nathan Cleary masterclass, whatever, that'll go down in history. It is what it is. But for considering the players that they've lost and gained,
Yep.
I really think that this year has been, it's, I suppose this year speaks louder than last year. Last year
Yep.
was fantastic. Go the Broncos. Realistically, they played their heart out. They played so well. They got to the grand final. They were winning for 65 minutes. And the loss was like, well, that's typical Penrith. No
Yep.
real knock on Broncos. But this year, in just that to just go from one year to the next for you to drop right out of the 8, you could expect them to make the 8 and drop out of the finals, sure, or make the 8 and make it to the semi. That is what it is. But if you drop right out of the 8, I think that's got to be a coach killer. That's got to be like, what other performance data do you need to sort of go, what's going on here?
100%. And I think you got to look at probably some of the players that there've been talks of the last couple of weeks that they've got a lot of egos in that team. Some of them making their origin and then getting Australia caps or Tongan, Samoan caps, getting international caps, and they're walking around a bit of like their shit don't stink
Like
and,
this,
and
like
sort of
this.
puffy chest. And I think it just hasn't worked out. I don't know if Kevy's the right coach, but fuck, you got no one else. There's no one coming around to take the reins.
Well, yeah. And look, I know we always bash the coach, and then other weeks we go, oh, but it's the players. It's obviously a combination. They've got a lot of
It's a bit
good
of both.
players there. If you're a team that doesn't have many good players, but like you said, they've got players that have had international caps, they've got players that have had state of origin games. They've got a lot of good players there. It takes then one person to steer that ship and to create the
Yeah.
culture and to get the wins on the board. But that's the thing. If you're coaching a shitty team, it's like, well, you do blame the players because, look at the stock that they've got, whatever.
Like
But
Frano.
yeah, like the Dragons, they don't have that. You put those two teams on paper, and the Broncos far outweigh the Dragons easily. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The coach can make a massive difference, and this year it
Yeah,
has.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Crap, but going off last year,
It's a massive improvement.
yeah,
Like
and
we've
it's only going to get better.
but the thing is, you'll look to the Dragons season this year and go, the Dragons just missed the 8.
Yeah.
It's not that they dropped out of the 8. They just missed it.
Yeah.
And so we're getting that one step closer. I should
100%.
say maybe they still make it. Maybe they still make it. Anyway, let's go to the next game.
Mate, and my Sharkies winning 22-4 at halftime, lose 30-28. Ref got man of the match. He must have had some money on the Warriors because Jesus Christ. We had 2 tries disallowed in the first 10 minutes in the second half. There were definitely no tries because you can't stop in the line and do that kind of stuff. So there's obviously that's fine. But it's these silly little, and it's not the ref's fault actually. It's the bunker with these players falling over and they're slipping. And what do you want the player to do?
Yeah.
He's ready to tackle shoulder to shoulder, and these boys are slipping down and then they hit their head. And he just went, oh yeah, it's head high, dangerous contact, you're on the bin. It's like he's fucking slipping.
Yep.
Like
had the exact same conversation on Monday with the bloke at work, and we said there's got to be, and I debated the point because I sort of said, well, then you could open it up to referee interpretation, but then there'd be lots and lots of discrepancies. But in that circumstance, if a player running dips down or slips, you've got to then remind yourself the defending player has less than a second to make a decision. It is
100%.
so hard to go, oh, no, hang on, I won't tackle him because he's fallen to the ground. Sorry, guys, I'm just not going to tackle this bloke. Just everyone watch me. I'm just letting him fall to the ground and I'll just put my hand on him and now he's tackled. You can't do that. Like, we can't even make those decisions in tag, and we're playing tag. We're not tackling someone. Like, you can't expect if someone is falling to then be able to change your whole body weight. And these blokes are like 100 and something kilos. Oh, yeah, I've just got to change my whole body. I honestly think if you can clearly see that someone has slipped or someone has ducked down, if their head is below my chest, it shouldn't be my responsibility to a degree to get right down to have to tackle someone. Otherwise, we may as well crawl.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say is when that does happen, look at the review and go the aggression on the defender. If he's seen him slip, but he's coming around with sort of a swinging arm, not a swinging arm, but like the way he's going to tackle, then you
But he's
go,
already made
okay,
that decision,
that's
H.
careless. I know, but
Because you're actually making that decision when you're in the line before you even get off the line, surely.
yeah, well, you would think so.
Like you're already making the decision what shoulder you're using. You're already making the decision how you're planting the feet. Like you're not getting to within an inch and going, oh, hang on, what am I doing here? I'm with you in the fact that you can't penalise. Well, maybe you can penalise it, but you shouldn't be sent to the bin. You shouldn't be put on report. All those sorts of things. If someone gets hurt, sure, you could blow the whistle and I don't know. Maybe you don't penalise it. I don't know. But
Right. Well, it was a good way for Sean Johnson to end his career. It's unfortunate. I'd rather win, and then we could cement. We would be in second place. I don't think we would stay there, but it'll just cement our top four because we could lose and drop out of the eight. The four. Sorry.
yeah,
But yeah,
it did hurt your top four chances, didn't it?
it did. Because it's funny. My girlfriend goes, "Oh, it's his last game." Like that's a bit shit. I went, "Yeah, I've got his fucking jersey in the other room, so I'm freaking Matt Warren from the Sharks." Like, fuck. Like, I'm going.
Did that one go on the
I
fireplace
hate
later?
him. Oh, but I've got 1K fucking memorabilia from him sitting in there.
You really got a
Yeah,
Sean Johnson jersey. I didn't know you had a Sean Johnson jersey.
mate, Sean Johnson and Bronson Sherry. Fucking go figure how good.
Two of the
Mate,
Sharky greats.
when he got suspended, I sent him the picture of it, and I said, mate, I spent
Sure.
$500 on this to get it, and I spent another 450 to get it all framed with pictures and stuff like that. I said, give me $1,000 and you can fucking have it. Never got a reply.
You should send it to him again. Send it to him again and go, mate, it's all yours if you want it.
Oh, so, but yeah,
It'd be a nice donation to a charity event one day, mate.
no, it's gonna be hang up. Oh, good.
Go the next game.
I got the Newcastle Knights winning 36-14 against the Gold Coast Titans. They've well and truly hit the slumps.
Titans gone.
Yeah, they just got burnt out during the middle of the season trying to make their run from the slow start, like we said last week, and Newcastle were trying to make that late push.
I think we're going to see a lot of player change at the Titans in the next 6 to 12 months.
It's going to be interesting to see what Desi does. Sorry, obviously Tino's going to be back next year, so that's a massive lift. Yeah, I think they got to get rid of some people and stick with positions. They changed a lot in their spine from the 1, 6, 7, and 9.
Injury hurt them a little bit. Every second week someone had to change because of injury and blah blah blah. But that's what I mean. I think you're going to see some changes, but also some pick and sticks. It's like, nah, you're in this position now. Make it yours. Off you go.
100%. But even the wingers, mate, you got Khan Pereira and then you got Sammy. They're in, out, in, out,
Yep.
in, out.
Yep.
Like it's just
Yep.
ridiculous.
Knights needed that win for a sniff at the 8-2, so they did a good job there, making sure that they, are just keeping themselves alive.
Definitely. And then the shock of the round, pretty much. Oh,
far out.
Yeah, I don't think
it was.
Parramatta winning's not much of a more of a shock, actually. With the Raiders winning 14-12 against the Roosters, they came to play. The Roosters didn't. They had a bit of an off game. Obviously, the ACL injuries to Sam Walker and Brandon Smith doesn't help.
And then Radley done his shoulder blade too, snapped his shoulder blade in half. So
yeah, they're getting injuries at the wrong time as well, just before the finals. Teddy did his thing still.
Did you see the stat? Roosters have about double the amount of ACL injuries in the last, I'm going to say, 10 to 15 years.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're at about 12. Next team, can't remember who it might have been the Panthers. I'm not entirely sure. Next team was at 6.
The Tigers would have to be up there with.
It could have been Tigers. It could have been Tigers.
Teddy did like 3 there.
Yeah, well, maybe it was them, but I can't remember the exact time time frame, but it was, they were at 12, the next team was at 6 in however
Yeah.
many years. But that game too, mate, Raiders, it's funny how some of these teams just start to turn up with almost not enough time left. Raiders are now giving themselves a half a chance at the 8. The Parramatta Eels, winning in the second last round for what?
Yeah.
The Warriors winning in their last round for what? It's really funny how some teams can switch on and other teams, can just get walked over.
Especially Elliot Whitehead got sent to the bin twice
Yeah,
in that game. And then he went over to sort of apologise at the end of the game. And Trent Robbo, I go, mate, if I was Elliot Whitehead, I'm going, well, I'm going to be suspended for next week.
maybe belt him.
I'm going back to the Super League.
Yeah,
I'd put one on his chin.
or at least give him a spray. At least tell him where to go.
Trent Robbo is the biggest fucking sook, right? He gets into
He's
the press conference and he goes off. Mate, you just had a fucking WJH just came back from a 4-week suspension. He's got another fucking 3 weeks. Look in
no.
your own backyard before
Yep.
calling out other teams and
That's
other players. Mate, your fucking team gets suspended all the time. Radley, Brandon Smith.
exactly
Like,
right. That's exactly
sorry,
what I
but
was thinking. I'm like, bit rich coming
fucking
from the bloke with 3 of the biggest grubs in the game.
like he's lucky. Well, I think he's an overrated coach, but luckily he's done good in his career because, hey, if he didn't have the runs on the board, like whatever he says, just move over, buddy. Talking shit.
He's a bit sort of like precious, isn't he?
Oh, mate, Bondi wankers. Of course,
Well, that's exactly right.
eastern suburbs.
Oh,
But
well.
yeah,
Then the
they missed a
mighty
good
Tigers had the
opportunity.
bye.
Yeah, and they missed a good opportunity to go to second as well, the Roosters. So
Well, you know what? That's probably what he's really dirty at. He's probably dirty at the fact that they underperformed and they could have got up into that top 2. Yeah,
but,
stuff.
all right.
We hate the Roosters here at down the middle, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, not many teams we like.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, there's a couple.
yeah,
Um, there's at least 2.
yeah.
Let's look at this week, mate. We're halfway through the Storm Bronx game. I've tipped the Storm. They are currently leading at 28-6. I'm pretty sure I've got Will Warbrick in my team having an absolute blinder, 106 points. I've vice captain Jerome Hughes as well, who's on 95. So that could be interesting decision for me after tonight for my super coach. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., game of the round. We have the Spoon Bowl out at Campbelltown Sports Centre. You know what? Is that sold out yet? Surely.
Oh, maybe. I don't think so. Actually,
Might be a
6
chance.
o'clock. 6 o'clock is tough.
I think there'd be enough people just wanting to get around the wooden spoon championship that they might go. I reckon that might be a sellout. We'll have to double check. Anyway, who you got? I got the Tigers at home.
I got Para.
I don't think Parra can do 2 in a row.
I think the Tigers get their third spoon in a row.
Well, I don't really care who gets the spoon. Stuff them both. They've played terrible all year.
In honesty, I think they both deserve the spoon. I think they both should get the spoon.
Imagine a draw. Oh, no. Hang on. So what is...
Give Rabbits a spoon as well. I think a three-way tie for the spoon.
Imagine a draw. They both go to 19 points. Who's got the for and against? Surely we don't count for and against if you end up both at the bottom of the ladder. The Eels would get it. The Eels would get it. I'd love to see a draw and a double spooning. That doesn't sound good. Anyway, the 8 o'clock games, Bunnies, Roosters. Roosters will bounce back, surely.
Jim, interesting. I know Souths don't have a couple of players missing. Obviously, Roosters are resting Daniel Tupu, Dominic Young,
Lindsay
and
Collins.
Lindsay Collins as well.
Yep.
So I think the Roosters still get the job done, but I don't think it would be the cricket score that I would have said before
Couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
The new bloke from rugby, Mark, haven't worked out how to say his last name yet. I'm going to research that. He gets a start, which is pretty promising. He's had a couple of games in reserve grade, so
Qantas.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of funky sounds in there, but we will work that out for next year if he's going to be a starter. So you going Roosters?
Yeah, Roosters, but
But just maybe.
I might take Rabbits with a start depending on
Yeah, fair.
this.
Fair. We got Dragons Raiders 3 o'clock on Saturday. Couple of changes there. Ravalawa out, Couchman out, Whitehead out, Rapana out.
Mhm.
Um,
I
man,
think the Dragons get it done.
you reckon?
I think they get it done, and they're in the 8 or
A second.
20 or 26 hours.
Yeah, perfect. They can have a party while they're still in, and then they
Yeah.
can go and have Mad
Well,
Monday.
unless there is
We'll, okay.
something that I'll say later on.
I will tip the Dragons. I have tipped the Dragons. But I am not confident whatsoever. Whatsoever. Not
Oh
even
yeah, just head to head. Absolute nothing else.
just head to head. I'm not looking at try scorers. There might be no tries scored. There might be one field goal or something. It might be,
Or I'd probably take Dragons to win, Lomax to score. That's a pretty safe bet.
yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Doggies Cowboys. This will be a good game. It's fifth versus sixth out at a core stadium. Um, both teams looking. Oh, actually, we got Matt Burton and Bronson Sherry out for the Doggies. Drew Hutchison
Stephen
comes in.
Crichton. Stephen
Stephen
Crichton back for
Crichton
the Dogs.
back. Matty Burton could be a fair loss.
I
Chad
think if they
Townsend, what's he
struggle to
doing?
get out of their half,
Hang on,
he
maybe
usually
extended
does the
bench.
big bombs. So
Yeah, well, who are you going?
I'll take the. I'd like to go Cowboys because then if we lose, we still make the top four. So I'll go Cowboys.
See, I'm thinking Dogs off last week's round. Um, I'm going Cowboys against an understrength Storm. Yes, scoring 38 points, but having whatever it was, 34 scored against them.
Mm.
Dogs probably a little bit more of an arm wrestle last week with the Sea Eagles. I'm going to go the Dogs.
Yeah, I'd look. I think it's a bit of a first half. See what happens. If the Dogs start good, I think they'll go with it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Um, Panthers Titans. Not much to look at here.
13 plus Panthers.
Panthers have they named a pretty full strength side too, which is almost slightly
Yeah.
surprising. But I think they probably
Well,
just want to keep the momentum moving into the finals.
and they keep second to get a home final.
That's true. Yep, that's true.
But this is why
Um,
this week you haven't seen mass restings from a lot of the teams because technically, other than Melbourne and some of the other teams, can't really do much.
that whole top eight can change just about, can't it?
Yep.
With a win here or a win there. Yeah,
The,
that's true.
the second, technically second to 11th
Can all change.
is can all change.
Up for grabs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. And then we've got Seagulls and Sharks. Out at
Uh,
Four Pines. I like the Seagulls, mate.
I like my Sharks.
Okay, that's fine.
No
You're allowed to.
confidence.
You're allowed to. No
No,
confidence, just like
no,
my Dragons.
no Tommy Turbo. That's the only shining light. If he was playing, Manly. But yeah,
Yeah, it's tight. It's really tight. And then last game of the round, which is going to be the decider. Again, we talk about that eighth spot being up for grabs. This is going to be the decider. The Knights and the Dolphins, who are sitting in
winner
ninth and
takes all.
eighth, respectively, out at McDonald
Yep.
Jones. Um, you've got the Knights, the Dolphins, the Dragons, and the Raiders all sitting on 28 points. So two of those teams will win. One team will take the eighth position, and that will probably come down to for and against, unless one
Yeah.
match ends in a draw and then the other gets a win. I'm hoping the Knights and Dolphins get a draw and the Dragons get a win.
And that's the only scenario that'll happen. And mate, I think you got more chance of Jesus Christ coming back than them two teams going out for a
Hey,
draw.
hey, he's done it once. Who says he can't do it again?
Don't think he's going to do it for the Dragons.
Oh, I text a friend of the show, KT. I text him. So mate, come round on Saturday, Arvo. while the girls are at the bridal shower. He goes, yeah, I'll come round. I said, we'll put the footy on. He goes, oh, great. Nothing like watching your team play in the last round to miss the, not make the 8. I'm like, no, we got a 1% chance. He goes, 1%, you reckon? I said, yeah, it's probably not as high as 1%, is it? Anyway,
0.1.
0.1, maybe. Yeah. I'm gonna go. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go the Knights in an upset because I think the Dolphins should win. I'm gonna go the Knights.
I think Knights because it was at home. If it was up at Suncorp,
Yep,
I'd go Dolphins.
yep, yep. That's
Going to
fair.
be packed McDonald Jones Stadium up there in
Yep,
Newcastle, so it's going to be
yep,
interesting.
yep. I'm tipping the Knights, hoping for a draw.
Definitely.
Anyway. Mate, we've got obviously this is the last round for our super coach and for our tipping comp. So
Yep,
by next episode, we will have 2 winners of that. Have you got either of those?
I do,
Either of
mate.
those things
So
up? I've got the super coach
Paul,
up.
yeah, so Paul C in the tipping comp, mate, is well, our tipping comp goes to the finals. So
Does it?
yes, I'm
Oh,
pretty sure it
perfect. So don't
does.
worry about tipping comp then. We got a little bit longer.
Well, but Paul C has got a 5-point lead in
Yeah,
that,
Paul.
so I'd be pretty surprised if he loses that. Put it
It'd
that
be
way.
big. It'd be big to lose that, Paulie.
But yeah. So yeah, other than that, no point going through other people's names because
Too
yeah,
far away.
hundred percent.
Supercoach will finish up this round though, won't it? Because we obviously don't go into the
Yes,
finals
yeah,
because there's
yeah,
not enough teams.
super good, yeah.
So number 1 is Damo. Damo did quite well last year and was only pipped at the post by you, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
So he's done
Yeah.
very well this year. It's very close at the top. The Muffin Pile Drivers, Damo's team, on currently 29,909. And the Gunther Steiner from Rohan, 29,864.
Mhm.
Sharknado. Hayden, you could still come through with a big lift if you play your cards right and get a couple of tons.
Well,
29,796.
I do, mate. Well, Damo's only got 16 plays this week, so I've got one player up on him. And
Really?
two of his other differentials are playing now with Mudge on 25 and Arthur's on 6. So hopefully
Okay.
that can happen. And then Rowan's teammate, he has only got 17, 16. He's only got 14.
So
So
they've used up all their trades, you reckon?
yes. And then they've run out of trades. I used my last trade, but mate, listen to this. I brought in Hines
Nah,
last
hang
week,
on. They must have done some stuff because Rowan's got Adam Fanua Blake with the VC on. So that must have been last week's. Surely he's got some trades in the bank and he's done something.
no, he's got none.
Oh man, that's not good.
He got none.
Oh well,
So
it
yeah,
could be open.
so I'm hoping if I play my cards right, if my plays go good, come sweep through back to back years of the reigning champ.
We might even see Brock with what happens in Vegas, 29,600 if he gets a good go.
He's
Anyway,
only got 16. He's only got 16 as well.
oh, geez, all these teams. Mate,
But
I've got like 20 players I could pick from.
the thing is, though, this is when and this is the problem. He's got no one else in the second row to play, so he can't even use Greg Marzu that he's playing because he can't put the R on him because then he won't be able to get that player. So he'll get it. Actually, he'll get an AE, so he'll have 17.
Mm,
17 but yes.
oh well. Mate, that's why you've got to be smart with your trades like me
Yep.
on
How many you got? 12? Oh no, yeah.
28,267. No, I used all mine last week. I was sweet. And I
Yes.
actually used them both by accident because I forgot after lockout that you couldn't reverse. So I went to
Yeah.
reverse, but it wouldn't let me. So then I traded again and then I pressed confirm and then I couldn't undo any of them. And I was like, oh, well, that'll do.
Well, I traded Cleary last week to Nico Hines, and then 5 minutes before the Sharks game, I went, oh, do I go to Sam Walker?
Oh,
Nah, I'll stick with Hines
lucky you didn't. Lucky you
because I got
didn't.
no trade. I had no trades, and yeah, would have been disaster.
Mate, I'm on 238 points already at the moment. Go me. Go Jerome Hughes. Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
Well, winners will be announced next week. We're going to announce our down the middles, the down the middle Dally
Yeah.
M style thing. Obviously, as H said earlier in the year, we go behind closed doors. So, and I haven't been posting. One, I've been lazy. Two, well, behind closed doors. But we're going to announce our team of the year. Whoever from each
Yeah.
position racked up the most amount of points. And then you can give us your feedback on that. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
And also, just actually during the week, we didn't post it. Live Adelaide got announced 14th of February, 14th, 15th,
Yeah.
and 16th.
That'd be a great little Valentine's Day for anyone that wants to go. Maybe I'll take the
Do it a week
missus.
early. So, I don't know. I did send a message to someone. They seen it, didn't reply. We might have to try and work
I'll have to have
on
a
the
look.
cliques. Send a message to the cliques, but yeah, we'll try and
Maybe me and you go on a Valentine's Day date. Why not?
think
H?
so. We might have to make a couple of days early because I'm gonna throw some ideas at you and try and work some things out. And
You love to see it. You love to see it.
yeah, try and work things out. Hopefully, the person says yes, if possible. Um, if of course we'll say yes.
Watch
So
this space. Watch this
yeah,
space. Yeah, right.
try and look in
Oh,
early.
and then the other thing was Live v PGA. Is that real?
Yep, December. Yep,
Bryson and
will be
Brooks
showing.
v Scotty and Rory.
Yep, in December. Through I think TNT. I think it was.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Who's your money on? Realistically, it's tough to beat Scotty.
Scotty. Tough to beat.
Scotty
It's
by
easy to beat
himself.
Rory because fucking Bryson's done that this year. Um, it all depends on what they do. I would, love- I would love them to play the two balling bros. I'd fucking love that. Like, not just each
Two ball
ball,
Ambros
best
or
ball
two
wins.
two ball foursome?
Nah, yeah, bros, because
It's
you don't
best
want to
ball.
go alternate shot because
That's shit out.
fuck,
Yeah.
yeah,
It'd be interesting. I reckon. I'd love to see Liv win.
I'd love yeah.
Yeah.
It all depends on what the course, like
Well, we'll have to wait for some more info on that one. But
So
yeah.
stay tuned. Good.
Anyway, Battlers. That's episode 93. We've also got episode 100 coming up. So I'm just going to tease that I don't know what we're going to do for episode 100, but surely we need a big birthday party for that, H. Have a think on that. Battlers, have you got any ideas for episode 100? Let us know.
You never know. We might wait till next year. Go on break just before it. The first
Go
episode back,
99 and then,
go
okay.
99, and then you know.
I'll leave you.
See.
I'll leave you with that. I like